Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Subscribe to Next Up and all of its members. Guys, today's a big day because I'm uploading 4, maybe 5 videos today. I will be uploading 4 mini videos and potentially another regular video. This video is ranking all of the current NBA teams. So this is my tier list of all the teams. S tier, that's the championship contenders, the teams we expect to get to the finals and or win it. A tier, these are the borderline championship contenders. These guys if these guys have a great run, I think they can upset one of the S tier teams and maybe get to the finals and maybe win it. But it's a low chance. B tier, these are the regular playoff teams. C tier, these are the teams that will make it in as the 7th or 8th seed or will just miss the playoffs. D tier, these are the bad teams. They're all probably going to be lottery teams. Okay, so in the S tier, we have the Bucks, who are led by Giannis, Chris Middleton, and Eric Bledsoe. The Clippers, who are led by Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Lou Williams, and Montrezl Harrell. At the Lakers, who are led by Anthony Davis and LeBron James. This is pretty obvious. These 3 teams are at the top of literally everyone's list except biased fans who support their home team more than they think about teams logically. In A tier, we have the Celtics, led by Gordon Hayward, Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker, and Jason Tatum. The Nuggets, led by Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. The Rockets, led by James Harden and Russell Westbrook. And the Raptors, led by Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam, and Fred VanVleet. Oh, and we also have the Heat, led by Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, and the Sixers, led by Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid. So no surprises here. I mean, you could make a case for the Heat being a very good B tier team, but I have them in A tier. And the Sixers, I only have them in A tier because if the Sixers move Al Horford to the bench, if they have a great playoffs, they might be on par with one of the S tier teams. The Sixers, at the beginning of the season, everyone projected them to be at an S tier level. And if they move Al Horford to the bench, I think there's a chance they could get there. Next, we have the B tier. These are, like I said, the regular playoff teams. We have the Pacers, led by Malcolm Brogdon, Victor Oladipo, Domantas Sabonis, Miles Turner, T.J. Warren, and Jeremy Lamb. This team doesn't really have a star. They're just a really good collective team. We have the Jazz, led by Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, Bojan Bogdanovic, and Jordan Clarkson. The Thunder, led by Chris Paul, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Danilo Gallinari, Steven Adams, and Dennis Schroeder. And the Mavericks, led by Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis. So, all of these teams have had a really good regular season. At one point in the season, they were looking like... at one point in the season, all of these teams were much higher in the standings. Before Luka's injury, the Mavericks were the 2 seed. The Jazz were the 2 seed at one point. The Thunder were never really a high seed, but ever since December, they've been playing very well. And the Pacers have had multiple players play like all-stars this season. And they even had Domantas Sabonis make the all-star team. These teams, if they have a miracle run, 1998 Knicks run, or 1999, 1999, how that kind of run the Knicks had, where if they had a run of that kind, maybe they could get to the finals. But I do not see that happening in any situation. Next, we have the C tier teams with the Orlando Magic, led by Nikola Vucevic and Jonathan Isaac. The San Antonio Spurs, led by DeMar DeRozan, LaMarcus Aldridge, and DeJounte Murray. The Portland Trailblazers led by Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. The Memphis Grizzlies led by John Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., Jonas Valanciunas, and Brandon Clark. The Brooklyn Nets led by Spencer Dinwiddie. When healthy, the Brooklyn Nets are definitely an S-tier team, but Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are injured. I'm surprised that Spencer Dinwiddie was even able to lead them this far. And then we have the Sacramento Kings led by De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, Bojan Bogdanovic, and Harrison Barnes. And the New Orleans Pelicans led by Drew Holiday, Zion Williamson, and Brandon Ingram. And Lonzo Ball. The New Orleans Pelicans are probably as good as a B-tier team, but since Zion missed basically the entire season until January, their record is way worse than how good their team is actually. So, there's a very good chance that they miss the playoffs, and I can't have a team that doesn't make the playoffs in the B tier. Finally, we have the D tier with the Atlanta Hawks, led by Trae Young, John Collins, and Clint Capella. This team, if you look at the players on this team, they might have been a playoff team. It's just these players, it's a very young team, and if some of these players start to break out, then on the Hawks, then I think they can make the playoffs next season. Next, we have the Cavs led by Colin Sexton, Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson, and Andre Drummond. This is not a good team whatsoever. I mean, they have good players, but they have three big men. Colin Sexton doesn't fit in with Darius Garland at all. This team is just horrible, and I think they could use some new management. Next, we have the Detroit Pistons led by Derrick Rose and Blake Griffin. And Christian Wood. Christian Wood is a huge bright spot for this team. He isn't getting talked about enough, but before the break in March, he was averaging 20 points a game. He's a huge bright spot for this team, and I think he deserves a lot more attention than he's getting. Next, we have also Derrick Rose is playing like an all-star this season, and I think the Pistons would really, really, really would like to get rid of Blake Griffin's contract. Next, we have the New York Knicks, led by Julius Randle, R.J. Barrett, and Mitchell Robinson. Another very young team. They have to start playing Mitchell Robinson more. He's good. He's very young, so of course he's going to get fouls, but that doesn't mean you have to stunt his growth by putting Taj Gibson in front of him. The Knicks need to figure out what they're doing, and a new management couldn't hurt. Next, we have the Charlotte Hornets, led by Terry Rozier and Devontae Graham and P.J. Washington. This team is starting to get some young talent. Malik Monk had a few good games before he went out with the suspension. Miles Bridges has been playing great. P.J. Washington was a huge surprise. And Terry Rozier, that was a bad contract. And Devontae Graham, I don't think he can be a star, but this team, they're starting to get some pieces. And, they should have been rebuilding. They should have gotten Kemba some help, because if they did, they wouldn't be in this situation. Next, we have the Chicago Bulls, led by Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, Otto Porter, and Wendell Carter Jr. Jim Boylen needs to go. He ruined the seasons of both Lauri Markkanen and Otto Porter, and this might hurt their careers a lot. Lauri Markkanen completely fell off the season because of Jim Boylen, and they need a new coach. Jim Boylen is ruining everything. They need a new coach as fast as possible. Jim Boylen is like the worst coach I've ever seen. Next, we have the Warriors, led by, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, and Eric Pascal. When healthy, this team, probably an A-tier team or an S-tier team, but Klay Thompson and Steph Curry are injured, so They're down here. Next up, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves led by Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell, and Malik Beasley. Yeah, this Malik Beasley has D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns are stars, but Malik Beasley is also becoming a star. Before the break, while he was playing on the Timberwolves, he averaged about 21 points a game. Malik Beasley. This man is probably going to be a most improved player candidate next year, and I wouldn't be surprised if he made an all-star team. I think they should keep him and not trade for Devin Booker, because even though Devin Booker is great, Devin Booker would ruin their defense. They already have a really bad defense. Devin Booker would just make it that much worse, and they would definitely have to give up Malik Beasley in that trade, which I don't think they should do. Next up, we have the Phoenix Suns, led by Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and Kelly Oubre. At the beginning of the season, the Suns were playing great, but then Aaron Baines got injured, and he completely fell off. And they were trying to integrate DeAndre Ayton back into their team after he came back from his suspension. This team, if they don't do something fast, because they have the talent, they just need to build some chemistry, just add some more veterans to this team. Because if they don't make the playoffs in the next season, Devin Booker is going to demand a trade, and then DeAndre Ayton will too. And finally, we have the Washington Wizards, led by John Wall and Bradley Beal. John Wall said when he comes back so I don't think he's going to play in Orlando, but he said that when he comes back, he will be better than he was. I don't think that's true, but if it is, we might see another superstar point guard in the NBA. That's it for this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!